Hey, Kongs, a ski! Not too shabby! Problem is, though, I'm gonna need his partner before I can get you on your way. So yeah, welcome back everyone to Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3. In the previous episode, we finished the second half of Cotton Top Cove, faced a giant water-spewing something, and got ourselves a ski that apparently is useless unless we find a second one. So, it looks like now our only option is that I can smell it all the way from here. We're venturing to the only place we can go now, Mechanos. Looks like we don't have a choice. Yeah, this place is a far cry from everything we've seen so far. Factories and pipes everywhere. You can tell the effect it's having on the local environment just by how off-color the ground and the plants are. The Kremlin crew's at it again. It looks like we're starting off by storming this factory in front of us. By the end of this, they will know our names. Welcome to the first of the factory levels. Yeah, very different from the ones you might have been used to from Donkey Kong Country 1. That back there is a carbine. With a K, of course. It shoots these giant, molten, I suppose, I'm not sure whether they're actual fireballs or molten cannonballs or what, cannonballs or whatever. But they hurt if you touch them, and they even hurt for just a little bit after they touch down. So don't get hit. Fortunately, carbines always fire in predictable patterns. So once you figure out those patterns, they're much easier to avoid. Oh, and, yeah, sometimes they can show up with more than one at a time. Of course, they're still in patterns, though, so still not that hard to avoid. There's a knick-knack, the K, a couple bristles to kill, but if we double back here, we can find a vat of, what I assume is molten metal. I suppose these factories are more foundries. Regardless, more carbines to avoid. Now we have another one of these platforms in the middle levels that are a little out of place here, but still helpful. And the carbines sometimes will follow you up to the ropes above. Yeah, they don't call it a fireball frenzy for nothing, so let's just bob and weave here. And this time I actually mean it. Another DK barrel for your trouble. Time this so you don't land and get hurt. Another one here, wait for it. Patience is the key here in these levels. And I gotta say, I am really, really impressed by the job they did making so these factory levels in this game feel different from the ones in Donkey Kong Country 1. So you remember those with the real famous Fear Factory theme and everything. But the factories in that level, they have this more of kind of an understated, sinister theme, and they're very horizontal in nature and level design. Whereas these are real loud and in your face. And, well, you really move up and down and all around in these. Here's the star barrel, and I'm not sure I want to know what the purpose of that machine back there is. Careful here, we're going to be going down these platforms while avoiding the fireballs. Easy does it. Stay patient, remember. That carbine tells us there's something down here. Whoop, missed it, so we're going to have to team throw. Get out of the way. Roll jump. Land on the safe platform. Another one gets us to the first bonus barrel of the level. Not until halfway through, interestingly enough. And now, with the return of an animal buddy, I bet those of you who play Donkey Kong Country 2 have been wondering when we'd see. None other than Squidder the Spider. Not much time to learn how to use him here, so what you want to know is you can move and jump as normal and fire attack webs with Y as his main means of attack. And though they don't really tell you this, you can aim his webs up and down by holding up and down when you press Y. That is your key there to take out all these buzzes in a disturbingly short amount of time for such a first case of being in the form of Squidder. Yeah. No Squidder sign immediately though, so you don't really get much use out of him after that. So sad. Banana bear coin up here. Careful around this buzz and the carbine. And careful with this double platform, because out of these carbines up here, the one on the right will always shoot first. I've had more than my share of cheap shots because I forgot that. And if you notice, you see this double platform? It's just two regular platforms, just one on top of the other. Yeah, go figure. And you can see that banana up there, right? If you just so happen to have both Kongs still, you can throw Dixie up there where that turns out. If your aim is true, that is. There's another platform up here, so we just wait for this yee. Wait for this carbine, switch to Dixie because she's going to help a little more in this particular bonus area. We gotta grab 15 bananas, and I bet you know exactly what's going to get in our way. disturbingly close quarters for having to deal with these carbines, especially since the bananas like to sit right up next to where those fireballs are going to land. So as usual, patience is the name of the game here, even though you got to be a little faster and a little quicker on the draw because of the bananas. But, damn. Good news is it drops you right next to where the bonus barrel is, so as long as you don't do something stupid and get hit, he says, tempting fate, you can get back there pretty easily. Wait for it, there we go. Let's try that a second time. Just remember, just time it so that you can grab the bananas once the fireball's hitboxes are no longer active. There is quite a forgiving time limit here, so if you miss a few of them, no problem. Whoa, I took a little too much of a risk there. Wait for the next one to show up all the way on the other side. They just got me running back and forth here, don't they? Alright. There we go. There we go. There we go. One more. With 12 seconds to spare. There we go. Drops us off, and now we can go on. There's an N, and now we gotta time this. Right, another platform back up. One of these moving platforms. Here's the coin, and a carbine making it a little harder to steal his treasure. Of course, if we get hit by the coin, that also ruins that as well. The puzzle here involves not getting hit and not losing the barrel, basically. Oh! There we go. Now we have a gauntlet here. Just run right past these real fast. 1, 2, 1, 2. I gotta say, I have a bit of a theory about the carbines, actually, considering they only show up in this level. A bit of a spoiler. We're going to take this platform up here, and now all those carbines we ran past before, we got to get through on the ropes in reverse order. So my theory is, based on some other stuff I've read, is that the carbines are actually native to this island. A little tougher here because that one on the right's firing first. There's the G, another bristles. And that the Kremlings actually somehow captured, enslaved, domesticated these. There's the flag back there you saw, but damn it, I want to finish talking about this first. Excuse me for just a minute. And so, they must have somehow captured, enslaved, domesticated them, etc. And somehow trained them to patrol this factory with these giant cannons. So yeah. That says quite a bit about the Kremlings that they grab a bunch of these just to have them patrol their factories. Either they were paranoid about someone breaking in, or they really wanted to make sure no one got insubordinate. Or a combination. Not entirely out of the question, but here's the flag! Heading onward, one of the Brothers Bears managed to set up shop here, as suicidal as that is. Here is Bazooka's Barracks. Morning, Cons! Brigadier Bazooka here. All present and correct, I see. Marvelous. I fought in the Crimean War, don't you know, but I've retired from the service along with Big Bessie. Who's Big Bessie? She's only the biggest and greatest cannon of all time. Well, what a beauty. It'd be splendid to fire her one more time, but you really need some ammo to really get going. Crimean War. Oh, well, I'm sure Bazooka, his handlebar mustache, and Big Bessie will end up becoming relevant at some point. We know how the conservation of detail works in these games. They don't drop you a line like that and not have you solve at some point later in the game. But anyway, let's cross this dam and enter Demolition Drain Pipe. Here we have another new level type. A pipeline. Did you notice that music? That's Hot Pursuit, which means something's going to be going on. It's kind of interesting here. Speaking of which, you know, on previous Donkey Kong Country games, you'd end up in a few levels where you'd ride on something and have to avoid a bunch of obstacles. In Donkey Kong Country 1, it was minecarts, and 2, it was roller coaster cars. Well, meet your ride in Donkey Kong Country 3, the toboggan. Behaves a little differently. There's some extra controls that can attach to rails in this level. Holding down and pressing B lets you drop from them. And as per usual, you gotta really be careful here because hitting just about anything makes you take damage, including these outcroppings sticking out of the pipeline. But we mustn't be careless. And that one I did on purpose because otherwise I would have missed that bonus barrel cleverly hidden somehow behind a banana. We gotta bash the baddies here, and because of the nature of the level, we only got one shot at this unless we die or come back. So, no pressure. 3, take this one out, drop for this one, drop for another, got it! There we go, nicely done. We're back on the toboggan. Don't get hit. There's a DK barrel, so we can get hit once, but still, don't get hit. Easy. It's a very tense level. It's less about exploration, more about reaction. There's the star barrel. That's good. Now they're going to throw another curveball here with a new obstacle in the form of... Wait for it. Lowered sections of the piping that you will get hit by if you run into it. Yeah, more obstacles to negotiate. There's the N. There's a DK barrel. Thank the stars. You want to keep a lookout here because just a little bit. You gotta crud. Drop here. There's a knick-knack. Drop immediately to get to the second bonus barrel, or you'll miss it. Some stars to collect here. Still generally the name of the game. Just use the toboggan to follow the path. There's one. There's two. Stay on the rail. Stay on the rail. Drop. Got it. Phew. Got a ways more to go in this level, though. Come on, where's the DK barrel? I know there's one. Right? There's a G, there's a... Phew! Okay, jump the buzz, jump the buzz. Got it! Yes! Whew, I'm really feeling it now. Huh. So yeah, you can actually go back down to this lowered area. There's nothing to be found here. Just kind of jump back up here. And all we gotta do is use the steel keg, jump the gap. Oh! Phew, I gotta say, I was dreading this level a bit. I didn't know how long it'd take me to get through it, but I actually got through there unscathed. Phew. And by the way, if you really listen in there, you'll notice that whenever a level has Hot Pursuit as its theme, it actually uses its own variation, its own instrumentation for the level clear theme instead of the instrumentation that level type normally has. Good little extra detail. So now as we explore a little further into Mechanos, here's Swanky's. We're not going to visit him just yet, though. And do you see where the Simon Cave is here yet? Notice that thing kind of floating up in the middle of the sky there, held aloft by a gigantic crane? I'm sure we'll find a way to reach that eventually, right? But we can't just yet. And so, I want to get into a little more backstory here. You see, there are some levels in this game that when I was younger, I really, really disliked playing. For example, Barrel Shield Bust Up, Bobbing Barrel Brawl, etc. I didn't like those levels because I just wasn't very good at them. Meanwhile, some places like Fish Food Frenzy and a couple levels that are coming up later just kind of unnerved me. Up until I figured out how they function. Then they got a little more bearable. But this level? Oh boy. This is one of the only levels in the game I will say outright scared me. We're talking like panicked when I went through this level the first few times. Why? Well, as you know, in some other games, other platforms, there'll be levels where you have to slowly rise up through a level while avoiding some kind of hazard that's rising up to catch you. Sometimes it's that usual mainstay of molten magma, lava, etc. Sometimes it's some kind of toxic substance. Sometimes it's just some enemies that are slowly rising up after you. In Donkey Kong Country 2 even, there's a level where you're rising up above water that's got a carnivorous man-eating piranha in it. Or another level where you're rising up a castle tower trying to stay up ahead of some slowly rising toxic ooze. Well, as nightmarish as that sounds, oh boy. You want to see what your hazard is in Ripsaw Rage? A giant photorealistic ripsaw, complete with realistic sounds. Yeah, so you gotta spend the entirety of the level staying up ahead of this thing, trying not to get sawed in half. Fortunately, there aren't that many enemies in this level outside of sneaks and the occasional, that's not a good sign, and the occasional buzz. So basically, this whole thing's about keeping pace in a way so that you're low enough so where the enemies don't surprise you, but high enough where your organs stay in your body. Yeah. No pressure, right? There's the O, fortunately, already. There's a barrel. We want to use this to break open this passage to get to our first bonus barrel. Fun fact about this one in particular. It's one of the only bonus areas in the entire game where there are actual regular yellow bananas. Ooh, that was close. Fun fact, so when you're going up against, going up these branches outside of the trees themselves, luckily the saw stays put here. I was pretty sure it did, but that made me hesitate for a second. It made me question myself. So these branches here, sometimes you can go up through them, sometimes you can't. The thin ones you can definitely go through. The thicker ones only on the tips. That's definitely something you want to keep in mind in this level. I know the star barrel is close. Where is it? Where is it? There it is! There should be a DK barrel coming up close here. For another sneak. Oh no! No! Oh God! Ladies and gentlemen, that was the first death of this project. Oh. I almost made it halfway through. But there's my first blemish. Ugh. Well, here's to one of many, I guess. Back to the star barrel with us. Okay, let's pick up where we left off, shall we? You know the trick here. Oh. You notice here there's some things to be said about every time you die in this game. Each level type actually has its own unique instrumentation for when you die. You know, it's just like when you clear a level. It's just a little different every time, and it's really cool. On top of that, each Kong actually has their own specific animation when they die and land on solid ground. You saw Dixie there started crying. I feel kind of bad for her, to be honest. If Kitty dies, he'll do something completely different. Let's hope that situation doesn't happen. Carefully, let's throw the barrel. Missed the sneak. Here we go. Head onward. There's the end. You know, some of that stuff is starting to show up in the background now. Barrels, miscellaneous tools. And aside from that, don't lull that into just feeling like that's all just kind of there. Keep track of that stuff. Be aware of it. Because that's going to become relevant pretty quickly. So I'm going to slowly go up here. Go past this sneak. See that steel keg in the background there? A little further. Stay ahead of the saw here. You go across here. That steel keg is not in the background. You need to use it to... Uh-oh. Well, usually you can use that emergency invincibility to... Unnecessary. Have I mentioned these levels start to get really hard around this section of the game? Because they do. Yeah. So when we get to that point with the steel keg, you want to somehow have enough speed to... There we go. Okay, we're good. To where we can pick up the steel keg, get rid of the buzz, and jump in the bonus barrel behind it without getting sawed in half. Oh god. Easy there. Easy. Okay. Yeah, right. Start to run out of things to say when you're running through a part of a level for the 4th time. Here we go. Banana, here it comes, here it comes. Pick up the barrel, jump, jump, there we go. Phew. You know, I really like this bonus barrel in particular. Wanna know why? Because when we go into here, we're gonna touch an invincibility barrel. Suck it, Saw. Unfortunately, the back and forth motion can make you miss a banana sometimes, so if that starts to happen... If that starts to happen, you can jump to get the bananas. It makes things a little easier. Fortunately, there is some room for error if you miss a couple. We'll make things get a little close here. 3, 2, 1. Got it. Alright. Going better than expected. This will drop us just a little above. As we go onward here. Come across a G, but a banana just below it, leading to what I now know is called an auto fire barrel and another invincibility barrel. Ha ha! Suck it, whoever installed this saw. And here's a steel keg, and you know what that probably means. Turns out the coin camped out up here. Smart guy. Not so smart anymore. It looks like the saw just can't reach us up here anymore. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Glad that's over with. Whew. So, fun fact. I did a little research, and it turns out that apparently ripsaws are designed for when you're cutting against the grain of wood. You know, so that gigantic ripsaw was cutting straight up the tree, so it was actually doing what a ripsaw is designed to function at. What a ripsaw is functioned to do. You know what I mean, guys. The guys over at Rare are really showing their work with that one. And now I'm gonna have nightmares because of it. And so are you. But I think now we also know where the Kremlin's got all that redwood to use to build all that, to build the pier and bridges over creeping clasps. Okay, I think I need to lie down. Let's go visit Wrinkly. Good, she's sleeping. I could use some R&R myself. So, next time on Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3, we press on and on and on.